go to Revelation 14, verses 19 and 20. This Battle of Armageddon, folks, is no joke. Let me tell you. You say, what's the Battle of Armageddon? That's going to be right after the 7-year tribulation, when Jesus Christ comes back with his bride, the church, to defeat Satan and his forces and the Antichrist at Armageddon, which is close to Israel. Revelation 14, 19, and 20. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. That battle is going to be so intense that the blood that's going to be shed is going to rise up to the height of the horses' bridles. It's going to be an ocean of blood. It's going to be God, Jesus Christ and his church versus Satan, Zach Knight, and his forces at the Battle of Armageddon. And that's where Zach Knight will be defeated. Zach Knight, the Antichrist, will be defeated, and he and his UFO army will be defeated at the Battle of Armageddon. You might say, a UFO army? Where are you getting this from? Okay, let's move on. Did you know that all of those UFOs out there are the fallen angels that fell with Satan? Satan took 1/3 of the angels with him when he fell from when God kicked him out of heaven. Let's go to Revelation 12, 4 and 9. Revelation 12, 4 and 9. Revelation 12, 4. Let's start with verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, that's Satan, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven. Stars in the Bible are angels, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman. The woman is Israel, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child, that's Jesus Christ, as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, that's Jesus Christ, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. That's going to be the future millennial reign. And her child was caught up unto God, into his throne. And the woman, that's Israel, fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God. Did you know during the 7-year tribulation, things are going to get so bad for the Jewish nation that the only way they're going to stay alive is God's going to have to feed them with manna, like he did when they escaped out of Egypt and went, in the book of Exodus. Well, if he doesn't personally feed them, they'll all starve to death and die, because the Antichrist, Zach Knight, is going to turn on them and go after every Jew on planet Earth and try to annihilate the Jewish race, which has been the goal of the Jesuits order from the very beginning of their creation, from the first time they began. They're very anti-Semitic. And they even admit at orderofthejesuits.com that they accept people of all ethnic varieties except those of Semitic or Jewish origins. They admit they're anti-Semitic at orderofthejesuits.com. And the Jesuit order was behind Nazi Germany. And they've got photographic evidence for this. They're a satanic organization. And as you can see, it's the devil that is against Israel, because it says Satan stood before the woman, and Satan the devil goes after Israel, the woman. He hates the woman because of her man-child, Jesus Christ. The reason Satan hates Israel is because Satan's archenemy is Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ is a Jew who came from Israel. Okay? Satan is not is not funny. He's evil. He was behind the Nazi Holocaust, he's behind the Jesuit order, and he's the biggest murderer and liar and deceiver on the planet. I actually had a personal dealing with him at Church of Gale. He showed up, and I had to deal with him, and it was no fun. You can view our Jesus Christ told me not to make a tape recording of that. He said Satan's voice is powerful. He told me to make a transcription of it. If you go to my website, GabrielChana.com, you can read the written transcription of my dealings with Satan. At Church of Gale, where you click on a link called Zach Knight is 666 the Antichrist, it's all there. Back onto the UFOs. You may say, you're saying the UFOs are going to be at the Battle of Armageddon? And that, yes. Did you know that all those UFO creatures flying around out there are false? Those are the third of the angels that fell with Satan? Jesus Christ, when he spoke to us during Skype, I asked Jesus, I said, Jesus, I got a question to ask you, Jesus. I said, those UFO spacecraft that are flying around, are those the fallen angels that fell, the third of the angels that Satan took with him when he fell from, when God kicked him out? And Jesus said, that is correct. Did you know that Brent Spiner, when we tried to execute the Laurie McBride clones, Laurie McBride, she actually, when we had the trial between me and Laurie McBride, she had a flamethrower on her. We don't know where she got it. She pulled it out of her pocket or something, and she started flinging flames. This woman loves fire. She likes to burn cats. She almost burned Vladimir Putin about a couple weeks ago because she set a building on fire in Moscow, a skyscraper on fire in Moscow. Vladimir Putin was at the top of it, and she burned off all his pubic hairs and almost killed him. And the man that was with Vladimir Putin, she killed. This is at church again. This woman's got an obsession with fire, her and all her clones. And at the trial, and she tried to burn down my home in 1998. She almost did. We found out that those fires that were set around my mobile home, I thought that they used my son's clone to do it, but the Jesuits used teleportation technology to move those fires from one door to the other at my mobile home. And I was in crutches at that time and had 9 stitches in my left knee. And if my son wasn't there to put them out, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I probably would have been burned down. Laurie McBride, I believe, was behind that. She was directing it. And then when I called the police to come out and investigate, they told me it was my job to find the criminals. So this Laurie McBride is no joke. She loves to set people on fire. During the trial, she had between me and her, and when we were talking about Brent's, we were to try to determine what really went on between she and Brent Spiner, she pulled a flamethrower out of her pocket. And she started throwing fire flames out at the people in the courtroom. And she killed some people in that courtroom. That's why we had to execute her. Because she was killing people. We had to shoot her to death right there in the trial. If you go to Terrence Jenkins, he's got a YouTube series on this about this trial. And you can actually hear it. She murdered some people. And you know what the Jesuits did at the beginning of the trial? They bombed the courthouse and about 26,000 people died. This was a trial where I was testifying on Skype. Satan is behind the Jesuits. These people are evil, man. They're killers. Not to mention the Nukaki they put over Canada. You say, why aren't we hearing about this? Well, you can hear about it on the Gabriel Chana Fox News channel. But they can't air that channel here in Florida in order to protect me. But I'm just telling you, this Satan is not a joke. Okay. Anyways, yes. But those of you who are following the Jesuits, you're on the losing side. Satan versus Gale. In 2012, Satan arrived in person at Church of Gale, introduced himself with a flamboyant gay lisp. That is correct. He had this effeminate voice, ejaculated molten semen onto Sam Barbari's stomach before making him suck his penis. That is correct. And then entered the body of Zach Knight. That is correct. If you go to my website and click on the link about Satan is Zach Knight 666, Satan incarnate, it's all there. Upon receiving the soul of Satan, Zach Knight became the Antichrist and was granted a new